How's it going, everybody? Welcome to We Do Tech. Now, the new Ryzen 2 CPUs have been out for a few months now, but only recently we got the new B450 range of motherboards. Now, these motherboards are kind of just a step down from the X470 motherboards, with, as you guys know, you can overclock with, and it's pretty much the top of the range for the AM4 socket. Now, even though these are a step down, you still get a lot of the features alongside the B450. The only things you pretty much don't get is you don't only have a single GPU you can add, so no crossfire, and then also it has some reduced features here and there. But you still get precision boost overdrive and then XFR 2.0, which you do not get with the B350 range. Even though you can still use the B350 alongside Ryzen 2, you will be losing out on some of those nice features. But now for today's video, MSI sent over their new B450i M-ATX motherboard for us to take a look at. So if you guys wanted to build a Mini-ITX system alongside your Ryzen CPUs, these are definitely one of them that you can take a look at. But with all of that being said, let's jump into today's review of the MSI B450i right after this. Do you live in South Africa and want to get the best deals on all the latest gaming products? Well, RebelTech is the best place to check out. They have a huge variety of peripherals, PC components, laptops, and just everything else you would need. So go check out rebeltech.co.za to get the products you are looking for at a low price. Now, as for the design of the board, you get a simple black PCB with a black and red heat spreaders to add a bit of contrast. As for the back side of the board, here is where you get your single 2280 M.2 slot for either your NVMe or SATA SSDs. Now, as for RGB, unfortunately you do not get any lighting on the board itself, but you do get two 12-volt RGB headers for some external lighting that you can control through MSI's Mystic lighting software. Now, still being built on the AM4 platform, it supports the first generation and then the second generation of Ryzen CPUs. That will also be supported until 2020, which is a great feature AMD added. And of course, it will support both the desktop Ryzen CPUs and then your APUs, such as the 2400G. Now then, as for overclocking, the B450i does use some really high quality components. You get your 6+2 phase VRM, which is being controlled by an AR350 2018 phase PWM controller. As for the MOSFETs, you get the IR3555 60 amp integrate power stage, which allows you to actually overclock a 2700X to a 4.2 GHz. Now, with such a high overclock, I was worried that the smaller heat spreader would cause some high temps, but luckily MSI did place a sensor there, so I could see that the temperature was only ranging around 63 to 67 degrees with games and also just a basic overclock. So that is completely fine for this board. I will also mention that if you want to go for a board like this, I'd rather say go for anything like a Ryzen 5, even though it can support the 2700X. I wouldn't recommend it. I will still say go for the X470 range, because you're going for the top of the range CPU, go for the top of range motherboard as well. But if you do have one and you want to pair it with this one, you can. Just always keep a close look at your temperatures. Now, as for power, you get your standard 24-pin for the motherboard and then your 8-pin for the CPU. For memory, you get two DIMMs that runs at a dual channel memory that also has a max of 32 gigabytes of DDR4 memory support that you can overclock to 3466 megahertz. For the PCI Express slot, you only get a single PCI Express 3.0 16-time slot. Because it is a M-ATX board, you should only be able to get that. And then also because it is on the B450 platform, you would anyway only be able to support a single graphics card. Now then, as for storage, alongside the M.2 slot you get at the back of the board, you do also get 4 SATA 3 ports that supports RAID 0, 1, and 10. Now then, as for I/O, you get a 2 USB 2.0 type A port. Next to that, you get your combo PS2 connection. You get your DisplayPort and HDMI port if you want to pair it with a Ryzen APU. You also get a 4 USB 3.1 Gen 1 type A ports, a Gigabit Ethernet port, Intel wireless AC, and then also all of your audio connections. Now, it was a shame that you didn't get any type C, but luckily you still get that USB 3.1 Gen 1 type A ports, so you still get your speeds that you would get with type C. Now then, just some other connections that you get on the board. You get your USB 3.1 Gen 1 and also your USB 2.0 header for your front I/O. You get your easy debugging LEDs to let you know which of your components are giving you any trouble when you're trying to post. You also get only 2 fan headers. It is enough to handle your CPU fan, and then also if you want to run a all-in-one cooler, it's enough for that, but more would have been better. But no, that's pretty much our rundown of MSI's new B450i M-ATX motherboard. So if you guys want to build a Mini-ITX Ryzen system, this is gonna work perfectly. You don't have to spend all of the money on an X470 board. You can just go for this, save the money, and still get all of the necessary features like your overclocking. Honestly, not a lot of us use multiple graphics cards anymore, so that's not really something that you need. So B450 platform is gonna work perfectly, and this with a Mini-ITX system gonna be awesome, especially if you pair it up with something like a 2600X. It's gonna be one hell of a system. So that's pretty much it for my review of the B450i from MSI. Big thanks to them for sending it over for this review. And if you guys want to get it for yourself, I will leave links in the video description where you can get it on RebelTech if you live in South Africa, or Amazon if you live overseas. But now, thanks for watching guys, and I will check all of you next time. Cheers guys.